They're working on this person trying to save her life. And as I'm thinking that, I'm now standing at the bottom of her bed, looking up to her while they're working on her. And I realize it's me. And the funny thought was, I see me fully. And I see me there. And I had no connection to me at all. I knew I recognized myself, but that body had nothing to do with me. The next thing I realized is I'm being pulled up into the corner of the room, and now I'm looking down on what they're doing. And I'm sort of notating and fascinated, but not engaged in any way. And it was like, I have no business here. The next thing I'm feeling is I'm being pulled back and then pushed forward into darkness. As a kid, the worst thing that I dealt with was fear of the dark, because I never knew what was coming in the dark. There was abuse and trauma in the house, and so being fully in the dark was just too vulnerable, too overwhelming, the scariest thing in the world for me. And also being blind, because you can't see what's coming at you. And I thought, if I can just find one little tiny glimmer of light, one little speck of something to hold on to, I'll be okay. And as I see this one little spot of light, I think, I'm going to just hang in with it, and it's going to be okay, and I'm going to be okay. And, I just worked that inside of myself. And as I'm staring at it, it's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's coming closer and closer. And all of a sudden, it's everything around me. And I'm looking at the light, and I'm thinking, what is this? Because it was like clouds. The white is a color I've never seen before. It almost has like all the colors of the rainbow in it, but it's white. It has this glistening effect to it. It wasn't just light, it was substance and feeling, and it's all around me. It's all I can see, all I can feel, all I can experience. And I don't have words for it. How do you describe unconditional love? I don't know how to describe it. All I know is I have never felt so cared about, adored, cherished, safe. Anything you'd ever wished for to have in the world in that moment is what I felt. Satisfied beyond my wildest dream. And as I'm feeling this, I'm now moving through it, and it's parting. And all of a sudden I see these 2 rows of what look like monks to me in brown robes with the hoods up. And I'm like floating through them. And it sounds so silly every time I say it, that I'm floating. It was like something out of a movie. And I could just feel, as I'm going between them, I could just feel the love they were radiating to me. I wasn't that comfortable with men because of my childhood with my dad. And somehow these male energies all felt so loving and supportive. And it was like a healing almost for me, being in their presence. And as I get to the end of this row of monks, this one steps out and he says, and I always say he, because he felt all those good feelings of masculinity, he says, "You cannot stay, it's not your time." And I'm looking at him, and in his hood being up, there's no face. It's black, but it's like energy moving, and there are little tiny sparkles of color or light or whatever that you see in the energy. It's nothing I've ever seen before, but it seems so normal and natural because he's speaking this energy through me, and I'm responding to him through him. And he's saying, "You cannot stay. You must go back." And I said, "I have finally felt what it feels like to be cherished. You cannot send me back from this. I've come home. The one place I wanted to be in my whole life was here, home. I'm here. You cannot send me back. And he said, you have a child. You must go back. And in that moment, I'm back in my body.